Hello, lovely listeners, and welcome to a brand new episode where I'm talking about something I've not really addressed so directly, inspired by a piece of data that I came across. Now, I'm going to talk to you today about the perfect career. But before we even go there, because if you are not new around here, if this is not your first rodeo or first episode you've ever listened to me, you're probably like, what is Vicky talking about with perfect? I thought perfect didn't exist. This is one of the big things that draws me to her and her work is this ability to drop perfection and her own story, excuse me, of overriding perfection and getting things done, doing things messy. So what is the P word doing around here? Then don't worry, I've got you. But also, I'm going to share with you the piece of data that started an ongoing data hunt that led to this outcome of the perfect career. So I'm going to start by backtracking into time, right? This is the Hack Your Time podcast. I am a time expert, time optimization expert, let me say. And that's what we're always talking about here. But did you know, because I did not know this, a piece of data, a study came out that was done that showed that 95% of adults would pay for more time. That is what they want to pay for. 95% of adults would pay for more time. And you're probably nodding along and can understand and relate to that because you're here listening to this episode. You probably have had multiple conversations in the past week about how busy you are, how busy your friend, your neighbor, your colleague, your partner, your parents, your kids, how busy people are. That conversation is probably one of the top five conversations that you have with people constantly speaking about how they don't have enough time or they've got too much to do. So it's not surprising when I think about the frequency of this kind of conversation, but it is surprising to just be hit with that data. 95% of adults would pay for more time. How are they paying? How can they access more time? How easy is it for them to access the tools and the resources? Like, even though this is a top 1% global podcast with a million downloads, think about how tiny that is compared to the entire world and all these people that are looking for help with their time. So I know that we can't do it alone. And that's what leads me to talking about the perfect career. Because years ago, when I fantasized about the perfect career as I sat in my cubicle, working long hours, staring behind a computer screen, scrolling the Daily Mail just to say that I could, just to appear to be working harder and longer so that I could get a bonus, drinking a lot with work, at lunch with clients, after work. I couldn't have imagined, I couldn't have dared to dream the lifestyle that I created as a time coach. Not only are we talking about the ability to get up and move countries, which sometimes was Vicky led and sometimes was life led, and not having a break in my business. And I don't mean like a break, like a mental break. There was definitely lots of breaks in terms of like slowing down, but I mean a break in terms of my revenue growth. Like some of my biggest revenue growth happened when I was moving countries. How fun is that? Think about that. So so the ability to be not just like flexible, but free, that's how I see it, right? Being a time coach is not a time flexible career. You can have lots of flexible careers. It's really about time freedom. That's what we're talking about here. And time freedom means an ability to not just be flexible and say, oh, well, I will set my hours so that it's 9 till 2 every day. Time freedom looks like I'm going to wake up today and I'm going to see when I'm going to work. I'm going to decide when I'm going to work. Or it looks like this past week where my little one was poorly, then I was poorly, and then he was poorly again. And that didn't require me to push through, stay up later, compromise on my health, compromise on taking care of him in any, not for a moment, not for a moment. Okay. And when I think about the perfect career, it's not just flexible, it's free. That's for me anyway. The perfect career, we're not talking about a really good career, a really great career. We're talking about the perfect career for me has time freedom, location freedom. And I am the lived example that being a time coach has both. And if you're new around here, which I doubt you are, Go back and listen to some episodes. You can hear me recording from the US. You can hear me recording from France. You can hear me recording from here the last time. You can hear me recording from all over the world. This business has come with me all over the world in the last 5 years. Yes, during COVID. We were probably one of the few people that got relocated during COVID, but we did. And my business not only survived, but thrived. I don't love the use of the word thrive, but it really is that example. Now, for me, the other thing that I wanted in a perfect career was to have impact. I wanted to help people. That's like, to me, if I can leave the world better than I found it, that is a huge resource, a huge like purpose of my life is to leave the world better than I found it. So again, thinking back to the fact that 95% of adults would pay for more time, which means they have a time problem. They have a time problem, and I got to be the solution. I get to help people with this precious resource, with our most valuable resource. That is a career of impact. Literally, just today, I posted something on LinkedIn where I'm not always super active. And one of our time hackers commented underneath about like the generational patterns that were broken. Like, we're talking about not just the impact of, which by the way, any impact is impact, but we're talking about not just the impact of today, we're talking about the impact of like people's grandkids get to grow up differently because of the decision that they've made to understand time optimization, to understand time hacking. So to me, that's huge. That's like, I mean, I could definitely go to sleep peacefully at night knowing that I'm having an impact in the world, a positive impact in the world, and we're helping people. So if you are like me and you're someone who would love to have time and location freedom and have an impact in the world, then I want you to consider that becoming a time coach could be the perfect career for you too. Now, listen, if you are not interested at all, then maybe this episode isn't for you, but maybe it still is because there might be a few things that you can pull from this and apply to your career. If it is meant to be doing something else, you can learn from this and you might think about doing things differently. Okay, so we've got time and location freedom. We've got the ability to have an impact and help people solve this ripe, juicy problem. I mean, there's like 1.5 million searches every month inside Google for a time coach that are like time coach related. 1.5 million searches every month that are time coach related searches on Google. So again, if you are someone who wants to have impact but doesn't want to be selling, or should I say wants to be selling ice, doesn't want to be selling ice to Eskimos. This is what happens when you don't pre-plan, by the way. Doesn't want to be selling ice to Eskimos and instead wants to be selling pickets or something useful, hot cocoa, then you want to be in something where people are not just problem aware, but also are searching for solutions. They're searching for solutions. And not only that, but where so many of the solutions out there that exist perpetuate the problem. And we're getting smarter now. People are getting smarter. They're like, no, I can't just like time block my week and make a plan and follow it. Like I've been doing that for 10 years. It's not working. Like we can see what's happening isn't working because we are more burnt out, less productive, and we've had 100 plus years of our like modern time management tools. So people are hungry for solutions that actually work. So if you ask me about the perfect career, location, time, freedom, having an impact, and also giving people something that they want and having something that's easy to sell, that's right up there for me. I'm not here for like the hard sell. I'm not like, oh, I love to sell. I love to like change people's minds. No, I want to go there and be like, hi, I've got hot cocoa on a cold day. Come take it. That's fun for me. I was just saying I'm doing a mastermind at the moment for some of our time coach graduates. And I was saying to them, one of the first things we did for each of them, I had a one-on-one call with them and we came up with that offer. And I was saying to them how, like, when you have a strong offer, selling it is much easier. Or you can have a really difficult offer that's complex that people don't understand, and selling it is really difficult. So sell something that people want, give them a solution that they're looking for, where they're aware that they're struggling. Why else do I think becoming a time coach is a perfect career? I'm just going to say this. You have uncapped income earning potential. You have uncapped income earning potential. You can earn thousands per client and will, like that's kind of the industry average, thousands per client. That's not shocking. But I know coaches that charge up to like 50K a client. I mean, I've charged up to that amount before, but I just really want you to think about the fact that you get to give value, sell people what they want, help them produce results that they want, and charge a lot of money for it. Like, this is the perfect career. I'm sorry. Convince me otherwise. If you want freedom, if you want flexibility, I should say, not even flexibility, if you want freedom beyond flexibility, if you want impact and to help the humans, if you care, like another thing for me was I always wanted to work with people. I always cared about people. I love connecting with people. I love being part of something. If that appeals to you, then the exact program is built around that too. So you get to have a career that matters with impact, selling people things that they actually want and being able to deliver on those things and actually change their lives, not just for themselves, but for their kids and for their grandkids. And so an entire like lineage gets to live completely differently because of you, because you were willing to go first. You were willing to invest in yourself. You were willing to develop the skills. You recognized that this problem has a solution and you happen to come across this podcast. I mean, think about that. What are the odds of you in your lifetime listening to this podcast episode, this very one, and coming across this perfect career and still listening to it now? You're still listening to this episode for a reason. And one of the things that I shared inside our Time Hackers Facebook group is, ask me anything if you want to join, even if you've got 1% belief. And someone commented underneath and they said, I've got 1% interest, 1% curiosity, 1% belief. And Kim, who was on the podcast recently, commented underneath that she, when she first came across it, was also at just 1%. Now you've heard her story. She's celebrating inside Time Hackers right now, creating her dream clients. Since we recorded the last podcast, I think there's 2 more clients that she's had. This is what's available for you. And I wanted to let you guys know that not only are we open for enrollment right now and spaces are being filled, but also that we've made some changes to the podcast. Well, to the program, I should say. Um, I'm gonna link uh to the page below where you can click and read all about it. But the key things that I want to tell you about are that we are adding 4 business workshops, which I will run. And we are committing to not just creating time coaches, but creating paid time coaches. That's why we're offering the business building. That's why we're also committed to excellence in the skill of coaching, as you guys know. So we're moving the core trainings into a private podcast that you can learn on the go because we get that our people tend to have multiple priorities or things going on. Not everybody you know, is available for all the hours. And we're always thinking about how to be more effective and efficient with our time, which is very on brand. So the core modules are going to be pulled out into a private podcast you can learn on the go so that all of our calls, aside from the 4 workshops, the business building workshops, are going to be coach labs. What does that mean? That means you will get coached, you will give coaching, and you will give feedback and receive feedback on coaching 12 times over and over and over and over again. So coaching and thinking like a coach and being the kind of coach that is like truly excellent is as autopilot to you as drinking your favorite or making your favorite cup of coffee or tea in the morning. We want it to be easy. We're all about how do we create success with ease. And that's the decision that I've made. Now, there's other changes that you can read about in the sales page that I'll link below. But really, those are, I think, the 2 big driver things because the things that I've heard from people in the past are, I would love to do this, but I don't have time. So our question is, how can we make this more time effective? And the other thing that we hear from people is, but can I actually make money? Right? Because originally we certified coaches to hire them on our team, and then the demand just grew so much for people to certify in our tools because of what they saw in their own lives. So we decided to offer an external program. Now, if we're going to do that, then we want to help people build businesses as well. So those are the key changes. This is the perfect career. I'm going to leave this here because we like short and sweet episodes, and this has already been a bit longer than normal. The link will be in the show notes. If you've got any questions, you can email team@timehackers.xyz. But I really recommend going to timehackers.xyz/BATHC right now and reading all the updates about the Become a Time Coach certification program and opening that portal, even if it's just with 1% belief, to the potentially perfect career for you. That's it from me. Bye.